cool. I just got my power back.
Your power? Oh, from storms?
Yeah.
Boo. I just got my AC back. Again.
Nice.
Well, it's been pretty cool the last couple of days, so it hasn't been that big of a deal. But it could have been. This week on Dueling Review, it is clue number 1. When the mysterious Mr. Body turns up dead in his own dinner party, everyone's a suspect. Miss Scarlet, Colonel Mustard, Mrs. Peacock, Professor Plum, all the familiar faces from the famous board game are back with a couple of new twists. But will Body's body be the last to fall? Or is this just the beginning? Follow the clues and solve the mysteries in IDW's new Clue series. Did you ever play the board game Clue as a kid?
Yeah, but we had a weird version that called it Cluedo.
Oh, okay. Because I quote unquote played it, but I don't think we ever played it right or by the rules. Right?
So you played it wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a bunch of little kids sitting around going, okay, I'm going to move in here, and I'm going to guess it's so-and-so.
I think it was Dr. Fraley with the Dr. Pepper in the doctor's lounge.
So IDW is doing this this Clue series that is, based on the game with a couple of new twists, right. And it's also inviting the reader to try and solve the mystery as well. In fact, there are 3 separate bonus endings that you can get depending on which issue you get of this. So you can go and buy 3 issues, or I'm going to bet you go out and buy 1 digital copy and it'll have all the 3 final pages in there. But it does provide a few clues as to who may be killing whom in this issue.
I get it because it's called Clue.
What did you think of this series there, Matthew, or this first issue?
Well, and this is the thing. When I think Clue,
mm-hmm.
I always think about the movie with Tim Curry and Madeline Kahn and Martin Mull from like 1985. So I don't necessarily associate Clue with the board game Clue. I do associate it with that movie, which really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the board game.
Well, no, but I mean, that's kind of the same thing. And also, it to me, it feels like they are trying to do something like the Clue movie because it's got 3 different endings depending on which issue of the book you're buying.
Right, but the whole thing about the multiple endings of the movie is actually the least interesting part of the movie.
Yeah. Well, this one's not really endings, but just other clues, other scenes that will help you figure out who might have done it. So the setup is really simple in this book. It's people come to a party. Everybody has their own motives. I mean, this is really a very, very updated version of the game and the story, and throws in a bunch of new characters, including 2 police officers who are on the scene.
Policemen.
Yes.
Policemen everywhere.
And it's straight up just kind of solve this mystery as one by one people are getting knocked off. And it's also told in a very different way with the butler, who probably will end up doing it.
Well, of course.
With the butler breaking that 4th wall and having a conversation with the reader.
I do like the fact that they maintain the color theming with the new characters.
Mm-hmm.
Detective Ochre and Detective Amarillo. I don't like the fact that my daughter's cat has learned that you can talk to the microphone, and so whenever he sees me, he wants to run up to the microphone and talk to it. And I don't know why.
I know he's probably saying, help me, somebody please, come and save me. This man is holding me hostage. Somebody please.
Cat, shut up.
Yeah, so he's like, help, please, help me.
The cat says that it was Professor Meow in the Meow Room with a big bag of Farna. But yeah, I think that for me, the art reminds me a lot of Proof.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Proof?
Yeah.
Riley Rossmo's art. This feels a lot like Riley's art, only maybe a little less brush inky and more kind of an inky. But yeah,
mm-hmm.
I feel like
Daniel Nelson does the art here. Or I'm sorry, Nelson Daniel.
Tony Nelson.
Tony Danza.
See, that's a reference to 3 different
Mona.
Mona! Who's the boss? I'll tell you who's the boss. It's C-3PO, as played by Tony Daniel. Okay, Anthony Daniel, shut up. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like this works as kind of a meta reference. It works as, you know how everything has to be an expanded universe now? The Universal monsters have an expanded universe, and G.I. Joe has an expanded universe, and
well, it's called the Hasbro universe.
Right. This well, and of course they reference that within this issue too.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that. You got your Hasbro universe, but I feel like there's now a Clue extended universe, which
I don't know about that.
Kind of frightens me.
I mean, I do not see this series continuing beyond, the 6 issues, and here's who done it, and the end.
More Clue. Well, first and foremost, communism is a red herring. That's the thing you need to know.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the best part of it for me is the fact that this does not take itself entirely seriously in terms of the concept, but it takes the narrative dead seriously. And
to an extent, yeah.
Even though there's a moment where the narrator breaks the fourth wall to talk to the editor.
Yes.
He didn't approve the joke here. I like that bit, and I like the interactions of the characters. I feel like it's self-sustaining up to a point, and I feel like they could do additional miniseries set in the Clooneyverse, if you will.
No, it's not going to be called that. It's not going to be called that.
The Clooneyverse would be Ocean's 11.
No.
But this would be
but IDW, I would like to see a really well done Ocean's 11 comic book series.
Well, and Clue is not the only board game that has a story.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you could do Masterpiece, and you could do Parcheesi. You could do Sorry, which is the story of how you started out as a nice kid and ended up being a bastard because you played Sorry. The Pop-O-Matic Bubble is the main character.
I'm trying to figure out if I like I find it funny, but I'm trying to figure out if it fits into this narrative of the butler breaking that fourth wall and talking with the audience. I like it a lot. I need to see how it ultimately plays out. Right.
That here it feels fresh. It feels like it's, oh, haha, this is the thing. But if they're going to do it for 4 issues or 6 issues, it has to have some sort of motivation, and there needs to be a payoff.
Yeah.
We need to have something at the end, even if it's something where, I don't want to spoiler a 30-year-old movie or anything, but the butler turned out to actually have a pretty big secret in the movie.
Yeah. Wasn't that Tim Curry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was actually Mr. Body.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. I would like to see something like that, or something it doesn't necessarily have to be in that same vein, but it needs to be something at least that level of clever, that level of we did it for this reason, and now in issue 4, you can go back and read the previous 3 issues and see all the times that we referenced it.
Well, so here are the things that we know so far. A candlestick shows up and the knife shows up. This is in the bonus material stuff. We know that Mr. Body was shot with a gun, and we know that Mrs. Peacock was, well, they mentioned that Body was shot, but they also mentioned that his head was bashed in. So it could have been with a candlestick, right?
Or a lead pipe.
Mrs. Peacock gets stabbed? Yeah, I believe she gets stabbed. And is
she
dead.
Stabbed, or is she? Okay, yeah, the body is shot and also shot, and then Peacock ends up. Hang on,
I think she gets stabbed.
She does end up dead.
Yeah,
and I'm not at all bitter about that.
No, but we also know that at the time of the murder, Miss Scarlet and Colonel Mustard were in the same room together.
Right.
Mr. Green.
The acoustics are amazing.
Mr. Green and Senator White were in a room together.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 detectives were in rooms together, which at this point leaves Upton, the butler, Dr. Orchid, and Professor Plum kind of as your suspects.
Well, Dr. Orchid and Professor Plum were together in the library, weren't they?
I don't think at the time of the second murder.
Interesting.
Oh, I guess they were.
Right before that.
Yeah, right before that. So everybody has an alibi, which points to somebody else.
To be continued, obviously, because that's how comic books work.
So what's your overall thoughts on this? You ready to read 5 more issues of Clue from IDW Publishing?
I kind of am. I feel this is the thing, I'm not at the point where you are when you say, boo, oh, these capes and tights comics, they're big and dumb and I hate them all.
No,
boo.
I don't. I never say that. I just say I have grown a little. No, I don't say that they're dumb or anything like that. I say that I have grown tired of that and I want something new and fresh.
Right. And I like a decent capes and tights comic.
Yeah, me too.
And I feel like the comic industry should be amazing enough and should be broad enough to have something that's not a capes and tights comic. So I'm totally on board with something like this. I'm on board with the Westerns and the Six Gun, and I'm on board with they should bring back romance comics. But having something that is just sort of a straightforward murder mystery, I'm definitely interested. Now, when you say, are you ready to commit to 6 issues? I'm not ready to commit to 6 issues of much of nothing anymore. I'm old and set in my ways, but this is definitely something I want to come back next month, and I'm willing to give it a 3-month thing right here, and we'll get to the middle of the mystery, and if I'm still intrigued, maybe the cat will have more things to say.
Yeah. Notice the cat's gone really quiet. Matthew, look out, he's right behind you with a lead pipe.
Ah, no! It was the cat in the living room. Now he's actually moved to the other side of the room, and he's given me the big face head because I'm not paying attention to him. I'm talking to this metal cat, which is clearly bad.
I enjoyed this issue more than I thought I would. I enjoy the art. I think the art's really solid. I enjoy the story that they're bringing us, and I do right now enjoy the breaking of the fourth wall, so that our narrator is talking to us, so everything doesn't have to necessarily be the editor blocks telling us everything that's going on. So I dig that. And I was thinking just like you, 6 issues. I don't know if I'm ready to commit to 6 issues. I could certainly commit to 4 right now based on this.
I'm back next month for sure, and based on how next month goes, I could go another 1 or 2 easy.
Well,
if it goes 6, I feel like we'll have to have, if they can keep up this level of interest, and if they can keep from having that fourth wall breaking trick become tiresome or become a little too much, I think this will be great.
You have 9 people, not counting the butler and Body. You have 9 people at this party.
Right.
One of them has already been knocked off, so you've got 8. If people are dying left and right, that probably won't be as entertaining. I can see one more murder occurring, and that's why I'm concerned. That's why I'm concerned that if this really goes 6 issues, and I'd probably have to look and figure out how many it actually goes. But if this went 6 issues, that to me feels like maybe they're stretching it out a little bit. I think this is really a 4-issue series for me.
If you kill one person an issue, that would get you to the end with still 5 people in play.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I haven't played Clue and or Cluedo in a long time, so I don't know if, like Monopoly has updated their pieces. Has the game added Detective Ochre and Detective
I have
Amarillo
no idea. Because to be honest with you, as a kid when I played it and I didn't find it interesting in using the rules we made up, I never played it again.
Oh, right.
There's a lot of those.
When Steven's rules fail, he doesn't bother to learn the real ones. He just doesn't come back.
No, because this is at the time where we were like really super young, like 5 and 6. And so if you try to read the instructions on Clue, it's kind of like, ugh.
We did the same thing with a game called Masterpiece, and I still don't know what it is necessarily.
Yeah.
But I know it's why I know the name Robert Louis Stevenson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Clue's just not a Clue, Monopoly. Stratego is still kind of fun. But those games just really, those Parker Brothers, Milton Bradley type games, just not big sellers for me.
No,
but I like the idea of this. Yeah, Senator White.
Was Senator White a male character in the movie? Was there a Mr. White?
I don't remember. No, there's a Mr. White in the game.
There was Professor Plum.
Right. The new people are Dr. Orchid.
Right.
And the 2 detectives. Everyone else were original characters in the game.
But she was Mrs. White.
Probably.
Mrs. White, Mrs. Peacock. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. And by that, I mean I'm never going to look it up. And Miss Scarlet. Miss Scarlet was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Madeline Kahn played Mrs. White.
Yeah.
Flames on the side of her face? No, I don't remember. In any case, yes. This is not that movie, but that movie is awesome, and I highly recommend it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a lot of fun. Yep. All right. Coming out next week. Now, we've got a short list this week because of the holiday. And because next week is the holiday, you will want to check with your local comic shop to find out what is available. But here's what we have so far. From Dark Horse Comics, we have Department H hardcover volume 2, After the Flood.
I still think that's pronounced Depth.
Okay. Zodiac Star Force Cries of the Fire Prince #1 comes out. DC Comics has Bane Conquest #3, Batman 26, Cyborg 14, Harley Quinn #23, Savage Things #5, and Wonder Woman, the Golden Age Omnibus hardcover volume 2. That's a $75 book. IDW Publishing has, what do they have? They have the Jack Kirby Fantastic Four World's Greatest Artist Edition hardcover. That's $150, but black and white Jack Kirby. And you get to see all the whiteout and all the other stuff in there.
Yeah, you get to see Kirby actually doing his magic as you go.
My Little Pony Legends of Magic #4 and Transformers Till All Are One #11. Yeah, that's all going to come apart in this next big Transformers event.
I've heard we should
Hasbro
consider an IDW Transformers trade.
Somebody had suggested, we're still looking for stuff to fill up our 2017 slate. There's like 5 or 6 slots still open. And if you're a patron over at patreon.com/major spoilers, I've created a comment section for people to throw in some suggestions. And I do remember that the first G.I. Joe Transformers omnibus collection has been suggested. But listeners, if you're a patron, you can make some decisions going forward as to what we cover on the Major Spoilers podcast, and a whole lot more. And your small contribution each month allows us to keep doing shows like this again and again and again, and continue to read comics like Rat Queens #4, Rock Candy Mountain #4, and Snot Girl #6. Those are coming out next week. Yep.
Is Snot Girl not a monthly?
I must not be, or else there was a delay or something. But that's a $2.99 book, and I know Matthew loves the Snot Girl.
It seems like Snot Girl #1. It seems like a million years ago.
Yeah, it does. Marvel Comics has the all-new Guardians of the Galaxy #5, Avengers #9, Captain America Epic Collection, trade paperback. It's Bucky Reborn. Ooh.
Bucky Reborn.
Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme Omnibus gets a hardcover volume right there. That's $125. Boy, a lot of trade paperbacks that they have listed. Hawkeye #8, Iron Fist #5, Jessica Jones #10, Nick Fury #4, Spider-Man #18. Oh, let's see how many Spider-Mans are coming out next week. There's a big Spider-Man movie coming out next week.
I've heard there's the Spider-Man Homecoming.
Let's see. Spider-Man #18, Spider-Man Deadpool #19, Spider-Man Homecoming, Art of the Movie Slipcase hardcover, $50 book there. Spider-Man Master Plan #1. That's it for the Spider-Mans. Oh, they also have they have three True Believers books. These are the $1 books. Amazing Fantasy starring Spider-Man #1, Spider-Man #1, and Spider-Man Brand New Day #1. And if I'm not mistaken,
that's cool.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I saw this today over at another website. But there is a comic book shop in England that is going to set up one of those pop-up stores. Right outside of the one of the big movie theaters where they're playing the Spider-Man Homecoming, and they're just going to have all sorts of Spider-Man comics and merchandise in there. That's a brilliant idea
because it pops up.
Yeah, it's one of those little portable stores that you can set up real quickly and easily, and I think it's like those little kiosks that you find at the mall, that kind of stuff. But that should be a good deal right there. So I applaud the comic book store for doing that over in England. Let's see. So yeah, we've got that. That looks like that is the list for next week that we have right now. Like I said, check your local comic shop for the complete list, and I would imagine that by Monday, the July 3rd, we should have an updated list as well that we will share with you over at majorspoilers.com. Next week on Dueling Review,
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina #7. The Horror Adventures of Sabrina return. Learn the haunting backstory of Sabrina's father, Edward Spellman.
You can show your support for this show and everything we do at Major Spoilers by becoming a patron at patreon.com/majorspoilers. Your contribution allows us to keep this show going, pay for our growing costs, and gives us the motivation to produce more content for you. Thank you so much for checking out Dueling Review, and we will talk with you next time when you will hear Matthew say,
criminals are a superstitious, cowardly lot.
This podcast is copyright 2017 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.